Hey everybody, this is Corey from Sirens Studios. I'm joined with Janet and Nickole today, and to kick off our Spooktober event, we're going to be giving you some CreepyPasta reviews. Today, I would like to begin with The Theater. Have you ever heard of an old game called The Theater? Yeah, didn't think so. Probably because many say it doesn't even exist. You see, The Theater was an old game released around the same time as Doom. Today, if you ever find it, it's only available on crappy bootleg CD-ROMs, which, more than often than not, don't even actually contain the game. The actual legitimate copies that they say were released back in the day feature a blank cover with nothing but the sprite of what has since been named the Ticket Taker. He is simply a poorly drawn, pixelated, bald Caucasian man with large red lips wearing a red vest over a white shirt and black pants. He is completely expressionless, even though some say that if you smash the disc, his face is shown as angry the next time you look at the cover, though this is just dismissed as an urban legend. What is peculiar about The Theater, though, is that there is no developer name on the jewel case, nor a game description on the back. It is simply the Ticket Taker on a white background on both sides. The game was initially known for its inability to install correctly. The installation process immediately locks up the computer when the user reaches the licensing agreement. Also, strange about the licensing agreement for the theater is that whenever the development studio is supposed to be named, the text is simply a blank line. Anyways, most people who have claimed to owning one of the original CDs say that they figured out how to install the game by simply rebooting their computer on the licensing agreement with the disc still inside. Then they are prompted to press I agree on startup. Then they continue with the installation.
If a player supposedly manages to find what they believe to be a working copy, they have said that the installer window will freeze and stop responding before you can click your first next. But they do also say that their PCs do not lock up and it is only the installer that freezes. It is unknown if these are actual copies or fakes, but it is widely thought that these working copies are just to draw internet attention with no proof of the installation effects. Upon proper installation, the game then starts up without any introduction besides a main menu that is simply the sprite of a movie theater's exterior on an empty city street. The title fades in and then the three menu buttons, New Game, Load, and Options. Selecting Options immediately crashes the game to the desktop. Load is said not to function at all. Even if you do have a saved game, nothing happens when you press it. Thus, New Game is the only working menu option. Once it is selected, you are in the first-person view. You're standing in an empty movie theater lobby with the exception of the ticket taker standing in the front of a dark hallway which one can only assume leads to the theaters themselves. There's nothing to do but look at the poorly drawn, most illegible movie posters or approach the ticket taker. Once the player moves towards the ticket taker, a very low quality sound clip plays saying, "Thank you, please enjoy the movie," along with the speech box saying the same thing. You then walk into a hallway and the screen fades to black and you're back in the empty lobby and you do the exact same thing again and again and again. While this may sound like a really horrible game, a number of peculiar things occur as you continue to play it. The number of times that you have to continue into the hall after giving your ticket to the ticket taker before the strange events happen is unknown. Most state that it's completely random and can take anywhere from the first playthrough to the 400th. What happens, though, has deeply disturbed some players. The first occurrence is when the player fades back in after walking into the hallway. This time, they will notice the ticket taker is completely absent. The player then, without any options, decides to walk into the dark hallway. The sound clip and text box mentioned previously will play in the absence of the ticket taker, but when the player walks into the hallway, the screen does not fade out. It goes pitch black as they walk deeper into the hall, but the player's footsteps sound clip is still playing as they continue to push the up button on their keyboard.
Those claiming to have played the original game report to have felt extremely uncomfortable walking down the hallway, anticipating the whole way something horrible happening. Well, eventually, the player is unable to move forward. There's nothing for a few moments before a strange sprite that is described as the ticket taker, but with a swirl for a face, appears and stands before the player. The original players of the game say their bodies immediately froze up and their stomachs churned. They saw this sprite, which has been appropriately named the Swirly Headman. Nothing happens as the Swirly Headman stands before them. Then suddenly a piercing screech plays as the game glitches out. This lasts for a few minutes, with the screeching being continuous. Then the player is abruptly returned to the lobby with all the sounds and graphics being as they should be. The game continues normally for the next couple of cycles of entering the hallway, with a couple of the original players claiming the Swirly Headman would briefly appear and disappear in the corner of the screen as a brisk yelp sound effects plays. Then, at some point, after meeting the Swirly Headman, the player sees the ticket taker pacing back and forth, though there is no walking animation. The sprite's limbs are completely static, so he just hops up and down slightly as a substitute, with his eyes being wide and his mouth open to simulate a worried facial expression. Some players noted that the movie posters have been replaced with images of the Swirly Headman, which caused them to immediately turn their character's head away from the posters and approach the ticket taker. Then another, different, low-quality sound clip plays, but the speech box contains nothing but corrupted characters that cause whatever text that would have been in the box to be completely illegible. Due to the extremely low quality of the sound, it is debated by players what exactly the ticket taker says at this point, though it is widely agreed that he says, "Never reach the other levels." Then the screen fades out once again and returns the players back to their starting point in the lobby, but the ticket taker is gone and the hallway is blocked by a large brick wall sprite. Touching the brick wall immediately crashes the game, and that's all there is to it. No one knows what the other levels are or how to gain access to them, nor is it known why the Swirly Headman causes such acute fear in those who have seen him in the game. All the original copies of the theater have been lost or been destroyed. But the creepiest part is the fact that all the original players of the game claim to occasionally see a brief glimpse of the Swirly Headman out of the corner of their eyes.
So compared to all the other creepypastas that I know that I've read, the theater is something that stands out. It's different from the normal video game creepypastas. What did you guys think on this?
Well, it was interesting. To be honest, I don't find creepypastas as creepy, quote unquote, but it was entertaining to read. Like, if I were in that situation, I would be kind of creeped out.
Yeah.
So,
I've seen gameplay for this creepypasta, and to be honest, it is very unnerving, and it's strange because the sprites are very badly made, and it looks very low quality. But for some reason, the Swirly Headman always seems to make me feel uneasy, and I don't know why it would, because it's such a simple avatar, and it's very strange.
I guess just the concept of having to repeat each level, seeing the same ticket taker, but then you see the Swirly Headman, it's something different.
And it's so strange.
It's more psychological.
Yes, exactly. Now, it's so strange because why is that swirly head on the graphic of the ticket taker? It's very psychological, and I think that's what gives this creepypasta some amazing I guess you can call it just like this amazing atmosphere when you're reading it. There's no blood or gore, and many will read a creepypasta and it'll just say hyper-realistic blood, and there was
the
all
walls
this,
were covered in blood and intestine.
And it's just so overdone. This creepypasta manages to freak you out, but in a whole new level. Creepypastas are supposed to be psychological. They're supposed to be like that. They're supposed to mess with your head. This creepypasta did a great job at it.
I think what I liked about this one is that it doesn't follow like the ghost of a child who died or something like that. It's just the game itself is creepy.
Yes, extremely. And as far as I know, I've gone back and I've tried to check it out, and I have not seen anything like this that has existed. But they did remake this game. They did a they did a reboot. Yeah, and Nickole, you saw it with me. And was it creepy? Was it unnerving?
It was weird. Yeah.
Yeah. It had that kind of unsettling feeling to it. I don't know. I think it does a very good job of being a creepypasta. It's something that I wouldn't imagine, ever being. So great job to the author, whoever it may be. If anybody has played this game out there, please send us a comment and tell us what you think.
Let us know how it made you feel.
Yeah. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give this creepypasta?
7.
Is that because it's your favorite number?
Yeah, but it didn't necessarily because I've read some creepypastas where it's truly like I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be alone in this dark room anymore. Like I've actually encountered some where I'm like, I just need to go find some company.
Right.
I did like the whole psychological aspect of it, where it's just this man with a simple message, telling you no, don't do it, and then be like, done. But it didn't necessarily creep me out. So yeah, it's good, but I'd give it a 7.
True. I agree with that.
I can see where she's coming from. I think more of my mindset is because I've seen the walkthrough, and I have heard the sprite. It's creepy. You don't exactly know what the ticket taker is saying when he says, don't.
It kind of leaves you hanging, I guess.
Yes, you really don't know, and just the way that the audio is made, it's
Is he warning you about something, or is he cursing you?
Creepy.
You really don't know.
I would like to give this one just an 8 because it is giving me the chills. Like every time I see that sprite of the swirly headman, that's it for me. I get the chills. Nickole, what about you?
I'd probably have to agree with Janet, a 7. It was interesting, though it didn't creep me out. So storytelling wise, definitely a 7.
That seems fair. So I guess overall then, Siren Studios gives it a 7. Amazing job nonetheless to the author. Really awesome job, and to have a reboot of the game means that you're doing something
definitely
right.
Thumbs up for not sticking to the cliche.
There was no cliches as far as I know. A little bit of glitching, but I'm not going to count it as a cliche because it was done in the right context.
Yes.
Awesome job on that. There was no blood. There was no weird things happening other than the yelping sounds and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be like that. So awesome job. Good job for staying different. Don't stick to the cliches. All this month in Spooktober, we're going to be giving you guys more creepypasta reviews. So please leave a comment to tell us what you think. Make sure to subscribe to stay updated on all
and to see
the
more
videos.
spooky things.
More spooky. And make sure to give us a like on this video if you enjoyed hearing this creepypasta. Links will be in the description below, as always. You can read this creepypasta yourself, and
I'll be sure to link it.
And make sure to tell us what you think about it, and what do you think your rating is on a scale of 1 to 10. I think that's it for us. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.